Hi all. Let's do a Visual Basic string application. We'll start Visual Studio. File, New, Project, Visual Basic, Windows, Form Application, and click the OK button. It creates our new form application. We're looking at the design view here, right? Design view because we're looking at the visual form. We design it on the form. Just stretch it out to make it bigger so we can see it. We'll add a button to the screen. Button. And then down here we'll grab a text box. We could do it with other things too, but this just gives us something so we can get in and look at the code to see what's going on behind the scenes. So we'll create a simple string. We'll put some text inside this box here. Click on the button. When we click on the button, it creates this function here, button click. Just hit a couple of enter keys to give us some room here. And this text box here, if we click on that text box, you can see the name of our text box is text box 1, and we want to change the property from blank. See, it's blank. If we wanted to, we could put text in there. It's blank. We want to put some text inside that box. Okay, so we get these two tabs here now. In the code, we say, okay, we want to work with text box 1 dot text. We want to say is equal to what? Okay, we're getting that red squiggly line because it's saying, hey, there's something wrong here, something doesn't look right. Hello is a string of characters. Don't let the word string mess you up. It just means a string of characters. It could be one word, it could be a whole bunch of words, it could be a sentence. Anything you put inside quotes is a string. And you can see here, as soon as I typed in that quote, it's through all these red lines. It can't tell where the error is. It says, hey, this whole thing looks wrong now. So that string could contain numbers. It could contain strange characters. It doesn't have to just be characters. There might be a few strange characters that you type in that might cause problems, but for the most part, anything you put inside quotes is a string. Okay, and then rebuild. Everything worked. And then click Start Without Debugging. Here's our application. Click the button. When we click that button, it runs this function here. And put the word hello inside text box 1 dot text. Okay, so this here is the function. This starts the function. This ends the function. In Visual Basic, they call functions sub. This starts the sub. This ends the sub. You'll also hear them called methods. So there's three names that basically mean the same thing. There might be slight differences, but in general, it's most programming things, they just call them a function, you know, block of code. We'll get into the details later on. So if we wanted to build on this, how could we build on this? Let's say we use dim to create a string variable. We'll go string my name. So we create a variable, dim. Dim means, okay, create a variable. What's it going to be called? It's called my name. Now it's saying, okay, well, what type is it? What type of variable? You know, string, integer, you know, what, you know, as a string. Okay, now we're getting this green line here. It's saying, okay, you created a variable, but you haven't used it. Okay, so now we have to use it. Say my name is what? Is equal to this. And you can see, again, we're getting a red line because it looks like there's something wrong. You have to put strings inside quotes. Okay, so when we click the button, it runs this code. It takes my name and puts it in the text box. So just to run through this, you know, dim says create a variable. Call it my name. I tell you, these pop-ups are really annoying when you're trying to explain something. Create a variable called my name and make it a string. It's going to hold characters. The my name variable contains the text hello world. When we click the button, it'll take the variable my name and put it in text box 1 in the text property. Okay, so we'll rebuild. And then we'll run it. Okay, so when we click the button, it ran this function, created a variable, put the text in the variable, and then put the variable in textbox.text. Okay, so let's build on this just a little bit more. A good addition to this type of thing is to create a clear button. So we'll grab another button here. On the button 2 properties, see button 2, that's the text that we see on the screen. We'll say clear button. Okay, so text box or on button 2, text is clear. So when we click this button here, it creates a second function. And this function was for the first button. This function is for the second button. And we'll say on text box 1 dot text, enter the empty string. So that's how you would clear. You put in an empty string. Rebuild it. Everything seems to look okay. Then we'll run it without debugging. So we click this button, it runs this function. We click this button, it runs this function. You can see here, even though we changed the text on the button, it didn't change the function name, the sub name. You could, if you wanted to, you can go in and create different names, but we just left them as the generic names. Okay, see ya. Bye.